Hey guys, I am back. Welcome back to you as well. So today I'm going to play around with my cabochon mold. Um, a while back, before I started my channel and everything, I had made these really cool, like 3D keychains using the cabochons. So today I'm going to kind of show you how I did those. Um, yeah. So for to start with, I'm just going to get some pieces poured here. I'm gonna do the hearts, the circles, like these ones, and then might do the oval too. Not entirely sure. We'll see. So I'm gonna get some resin mixed up, and figure out like what I'm gonna do for colors and such, and then I will be back, and we'll get some cabochons poured. See you in a few. Alrighty, guys, I am back. So I got a few different varieties of stuff mixed up here. I did this one. This is a purple alcohol ink with some of my rainbow alcohol ink. That turned out really gorgeous. I have a green here that I mixed up with the cyan, green, yellow thermochromic powder. I also did one with the purple pink thermochromic powder. Um, I did one with just black resin dye and the rainbow alcohol ink. And then I have one where I mixed up some violet interference powder along with some of my blue chameleon flakes. So I'm just going to pour several different ones with different colors and just fill up what I got. This one I'm doing for another project, for a different keychain. I just figured I'd pour it because I'm doing these anyways. So, okay. I'm going to put the black off to the side for now because that's primarily what I was using that for. This purple, I'm going to do my other heart with that. And then I'm going to do one of my round ones with the thermochromic green. Um, I'll do the thermochromic purple and one of the oval ones here. Then do the black and the other round one here. And then, I think the difference in these ones is depth. Do this. Let's do a teardrop in this one too. Okay, and then the violet one here. I'll do one of the oval ones in that. And then we'll do one of the smaller hearts. And apparently a square. Okay. And then we'll do a square. So at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour a bunch of other ones just to use up my resin. Alrighty. So I'm gonna get these moved over to my other mat here. I got my heating mat set up to help these cure, and then I will be back when it's time to demold, and we'll continue on with what I'm gonna do with these. I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, I am back. All of my cabochons are cured. I need to use my other one for something else, so I had to pull all those out. I apologize if you can hear the whirring in that. My curing machine is running in the background. But I did want to wait and pop these ones out with you guys. So we have I have my small hearts. And there is my little squares. And then the small ovals. And then these ones, the purple and the green ones here, these are the color shift. It was actually really cool watching them cure because I had them on the heating mat. So these were like bright pink and these were like lime green. It was really neat. And then as they cooled off, they went back to the other colors. So that color shift powder is, thermochromic powder is something else. And there is the purple ones, ovals, the large ovals. And then these ones that I did with the purple and that rainbow, those turned out gorgeous. Look at them. They're really awesome. Here's the square ones I did. And the teardrop ones. And then these little hearts are the ones that I did with the black and the galaxy, or rainbow alcoholics. as well as these ones here. So then I went through for my keychains, and just to kind of give you an idea of a couple different things that you can do. So the one that I'm going to work on is going to be this heart one here with these blue butterflies as the centerpiece. So these are the ones that I'm going to make for the video, because this is going to be a time-consuming process. So I'm only going to make one of these on camera. The other ones I'll make up and I'll do like pictures of. But the two that I picked out for ideas, I did this one with the gold dragon on it because I thought it was pretty cool. Would be pretty cool. So that would be like this side, and this would be the other side. And then for this round one, I bent this silver dragon around it. So the way this is going to work is essentially I'm going to be piecing these together to make a 3D piece. So the dragons would be, for this one, like the dragons would be, it's hard to hold them together without, the dragons would be on the sides like this, essentially. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of shove these all aside here and get my working space set up. And a lot of camera shots. Okay, so for this part, I'm going to use my flat edge dotting tool here. And because I have options this time, last time I did this, I only had the one set of dotting tools. So this time, I'm also going to pull out my small one as well. Grab out a couple kitties here. Put my tools down on. And then I'm going to need my UV torch. And I'm going to grab both my high viscosity and my regular resin and keep those on hand. And then I'm also going to have a couple little cups here. And then I will also need to utilize my tray. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my UV resin to seal these together. So I'm going to do that with my high viscosity UV resin. So I'm just going to put some of that in my cup here. And using my dotting tool, I'm just going to put a little bit on the edge. I don't want it too thick, but not too thin. Okay, and then I'm just going to carefully place this on here. Do my best to line it up. Okay, I'm going to to squeeze that together. And then I'm just going to take my little torch here. And I'm going to hold it directly onto the light. And I'm just going to shine that into the crack. All the way around. Okay. And then you have a nice, like, little 3D piece. Okay. So next, I'm going to take a little dot, and I'm going to just add a little bit around parts of the wings of the butterfly here. And because this is curved and the heart is curved, I add some in the center too, because then it just kind of wraps around. And then I'm also just going to add a little dot to the center of the heart itself, just to be safe and to make sure that this is secure. And then, if anyone watching hasn't worked a whole lot with UV resin, it can get on your gloves and it gets very sticky, and then it gets all over your piece too. So I always like to make sure I have wipes out, because this is kind of like you gotta cure as you go. So if you get resin all over the outside of your piece, and then you go to cure something, you're going to cure that resin on the outside of your piece that you don't want. So I always like to kind of keep an eye out and wash my fingers as I go. Wow, that hurt my eyes. So once I have that butterfly pretty much where I want it, it wasn't where I wanted it. I need to add some more in now. I noticed too late that it was a little crooked. There we go. So yeah, it's just something to keep an eye out for if you want to try doing something like this. Just make sure that you keep your gloves clean as you go along. Because like I said, the resin will stick to parts of the project where you don't want resin to be at, and then you can't really clean it off once it's cured. So that one went on a little bit crooked, but that'll be alright. Maybe I can fix it. It's not cured. There we go. Okay, so using the mold, like the opening in the mold, I'm going to place this here. And then I'm going to get my other butterfly set up.
You're making butterflies?
I'm making a butterfly keychain.
Are you going to make it for me?
No, I'm not making it for you.
Not on my birthday?
Cynthia.
What?
So again, I'm just going to kind of put some on the outer wings and such.
Am I being good?
And then I'm going to put my dot in the center here. You know, you're not supposed to be in here when I'm recording, though.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am. Thank you, sweetie. Okay. I'll stick my head in your view, sorry. Just want to make sure that this one's a little bit more centered than that last one. Okay. So I just use the torch for this process just to kind of keep everything in place so that as I'm moving my piece around, the pieces don't fall off, obviously. So once I get this cured for a little bit with the flashlight, I think that should honestly be good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prop this up like so in one of these. There we go. And then I'm going to put this under the actual UV lamp.
Yes, can I have some Cheetos?
So that it can fully cure that resin, because the lamp is a lot stronger than the flashlight. So that's going to be a 5-minute cure on this. I will be right back when that is done. Alright, so 5 minutes is up. Those are all nice and tight and secure. So for my next step, I have this little chain here. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to wrap it around the outer edge here to kind of hide the seam. So to do this, I'm going to place it, and then I'm going to wrap it around here very carefully. Just holding it in place so that I can measure out how much I need for it. It's very tricky. Okay, I'm going to cheat. So I have the measurement of how much I need. So I'm just going to come in here with a pair of little wire snips. And I'm just going to snip the link. There we go. Okay, so what I do from here, just to make sure I don't have any gaps, is I just lay this back over my finger and just kind of hold it there and support it so that I can get in underneath the next point in the chain to make sure that I have an even seal along the whole length of the chain.
I know you're in the middle of recording, so can I get a hug and a kiss?
Hang on,
Okay.
let me get this on here.
And you'll be done recording? Or are you already done recording?
No, I'm not done recording, but I can get this set down. There we go. Hello?
You should not get ready on me.
Have you?
Love you too.
Is it time for bed?
It's... I gotta check the clock.
It's time for bed. Oh, that's your hug and kiss. Good night. I love you.
Love you too. Good night.
Good night. Okay. So like I said, it doesn't need a full cure in between these steps. I just use the UV torch to hold everything in place, and then after I get done with this strand, I'll put it back under my UV lamp. This is a long process. I think the last time I made one of these, the first time I made one of these, it took me 4 hours. I have since kind of improved on how I do these. this is a tricky part because you don't have the strand to work with so much anymore. Just want to make sure that these are as straight as possible. Okay, that should be alright. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this into the UV lamp here and give it the full 5-minute cure on that before I continue on with the rest of it. I think for the rest, I'm going to do that on the side here, and then I'll just come back and show you what it looks like complete. There's not too much more I'm going to do with it, but I don't want to bore you guys with, because it's going to take a little bit at least. But that is essentially the method on how I attach all of this, which is kind of the key part. So I will go ahead and get this cured, get the rest of it on there, and then I will be back to show you how I complete the keychain with getting the eyelet screwed in there and show you the completed piece. So I'll be back in a little bit, guys. Alright, guys. I am back and ready to complete making this keychain. So, kind of screwed up. I didn't get it all straight because my butterflies ended up being crooked. So it's not 100% perfect, but it's still pretty. So I used my drill at the very top in this center part here to drill a hole that I will place my little eyelet into here. I need to take that glove off to do this. Okay. So then once I have that in place, because it's not very secure because the center is hollow, I kind of go through and add in some UV resin around the base of the eyelet. And then I'll use the cure that in there just to kind of keep this in place so it doesn't fall out. Then I'll just give that a quick cure so that it doesn't drip all over while I'm finishing this up. There we go. And then that should be nice and secure and in place. Okay. And somewhere around here, thought I had a pair of pliers out. Must have put them away at some point. Throw that on there. And then just because I like the idea of it, I'm also going to add one of these little crab claw ones on here. Sorry, I just realized I'm way off camera doing that. I apologize. Okay. So there we have our pretty little keychain. And then I also found a little bag of charms here. So I was kind of trying to look through it, see if I could find one. Oh, here we go. That's cute. That says, "You are always in my heart." There's one that says The Walking Dead. That's funny. Okay. Grab a little jump ring here. And I'm going to throw this on the upper part of this keychain ring here. Oh, and it's reversed too. Oh, look at that. So there we have it. There is the 3D art keychain. Now, I can remember. So just as a kind of a show and tell, like I said, I had done a bunch of these before I started my channel. This was kind of an experiment adaptation that I did back when I first got into resin. So I had actually, my inspiration for doing this came from Daniel Cooper. He was doing, let's see here. He was doing keychains like this, where he did like chameleon flakes in the center of it, and then he sealed them together, and then he sanded the outside down, and then using the UV resin did these little clear spots to kind of give it this, that shimmer effect through the clear parts, if you can see that. So that's what got me onto the idea of doing this, was doing these 3D pieces. So I did a red heart, And then I, after the fact, got the idea to um, put the gemstones and stuff on. So this is the red one I had done. I did this one in gold. This is also one of the first ones I did, so I didn't really think to leave space for that eyelet piece in there. So this was my very first one. It was kind of my experimental piece with trying this. Um, After that, I did a round one. So this is kind of how those ones turned out. So this one was just a blue with silver. And then I'd done a red one with black. This one turned out a little bit better. The blue one here, I had a lot of spaces in between and whatnot. So after a little practice, this is how the round one came out. And then the other one I did was this purple one with the butterfly. So, and then we now have this blue galaxy looking one with the butterfly. So yeah, those are just some of the 3D keychains that I have made. I thought I had a black round one that I did. I'm not sure what happened to it though. These are all my pendants that I made when I was doing my resin and stuff. So, um, yeah. So that is all for the keychains. I'm gonna get this all cleaned up and whatnot. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. This is something that I haven't seen a whole lot of people do. As far as like this specific thing, embellishing and all that. So I really hope you guys like this idea. Feel free to try it out. I welcome it. I would love to see an adaptation of something even, cooler than this. Um, Outside of that, I hope you guys like the video. Please like, share. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Um, that is all for now. I will see you guys for the next project. In the meantime, remember, stay creative, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. Bye.